currently 353 degrees. Note that this is not the same as the actual angle of the deck. Remember that is offset from the BRC. Next is the landing cue. This will show the next 3 board numbers that are to land. Next is the hook to ramp plate. This vertical scale illustrates the desired height the bottom of the arresting hook of the aircraft should be when it crosses over the stern of the ship. For a 3-wire, it should be at 14.1 feet. The thick tick mark indicates the desired hook over ramp height, and the caret is the dynamic indication of hook to ramp based on the ship's pitching up and down. So bear in mind that this camera here looks static, but it's actually not if you think about it, because this whole aircraft carrier is pitching up and down. So these are dynamic, if you like, length and height illustrators. This is, I guess, similar. This is a dynamic scale as well that's taking into account the pitch of the deck. We've got very small pitching of the deck today just to keep things super easy. As well as that, for early access, the pitching and trimming is limited as well, just to keep things sensible. It will be unlimited later on in early access, and at that point we can have some big, really big pitching decks. So this, the hook touchdown, indicates the distance from the stern, the rear of the ship, at which the LOS, let's just call it the bull, landing system directs the pilot to fly such that the hook will strike the indicated location. For a 3-wire, it should be 230 feet. The 4 dots, there, and there, indicate the 4 arresting wires. The selected wire to capture is solid, so in this case we've got 3-wire there. The thick tick mark indicates the exact desired hook touchdown point, and the caret above is the dynamic point based on pitch up and down. As the ship bow moves up and down, so will this caret, obviously, because it's dynamic. Next, we've got the incoming aircraft type. We've actually got nothing at the moment, so I'm guessing this is just default, but at the moment it shows, obviously, FA, AT, C, and D. For that type of aircraft, we've got hook to eye, so the vertical distance from the hook to the aircraft to the eye of the pilot is 16.35 feet. Next is BA. This is basic angle. It is the glide path angle the crosshairs in the camera display are aligned to, and that will be set for that particular type of aircraft. So a Tomcat, I'm guessing, will be different to a Hornet. Next, we've got the list and trim of the ship. So trim is, if you like, the front to back movement. The list is kind of left to right roll. You can see it's only moving a tiny bit at the moment. You can see starboard up, starboard down. We've got degrees there, longer than 1.1 degrees. And we do have a tiny bit of trim movement, but very small. Again, later in early access, you're going to see some big angles, obviously. This guy here, finally, is ACLS closure. So we don't have ACLS in the Hornet at the moment, but when we do, this is going to show information of the link between the carrier and the ACLS in the aircraft and give us the information. Next, we'll move on to the flat camera here. Date, local time. Whether the deck is clear or whether it's bow. The CDN number, the carrier number, this is the current window of the deck, which matches the 24 knots. You can see there. Down the bottom, we've got the descent rate in feet per minute, I think that is, or the distance from the carrier in feet, and we've got the airspeed, I believe it's true airspeed of the aircraft there. Now note, these will always show 0 unless the ACLS on the plane is linked up with the camera, in which case we will get that information. Got the crosshairs here, it's angled up from the deck at 3 degrees. So what we want to see for an ideal approach is a plane in that crosshair all the time. We'll have a wave-off indicator. If there is a wave-off given, then we would have a big W flashing. It's going to be about there. So the next thing to do is to look at the interaction between the LSO and the aircraft. So we're going to get some guys in here. We're going to get them to play touch and go. So they're going round in a constant circuit. And I'm going to show you that there are a list of specific phrases that we, as the human LSO, are to use. Now, what I'm going to do is superimpose on the right of the screen here, essentially what we are supposed to say. Now, don't expect this to go well. We're doing it for the first time, and I tend to get a little bit excited. Okay, we have our first chat coming down. Let's see what I'm obviously only going to stack at the moment. That is fine. Okay. You're lined up annoyingly perfect. You're a little high. Okay, it's got perfectly in the crosshairs, so I don't actually have to say anything, which is a bit annoying. Feel free to cock up.
There you are, Cap. I'll be there soon enough.
Roger.
I'll keep you busy.
You're low. Power. Good. That was 1 or 2 wire, I imagine. Next. Okay, got arm off again, and we've got carry in stacked Well, let's go and have a look what we've got here. Okay, you're lined up left. You're lined up left. Come right. Come right. Okay. This is cool. I'm making great LSO, guys. Must resist urge. You're high. Must resist urge to embellish. Easy with your wings. You're high. That's a 3 wide, boys. How do you go?
Yeah.
Hold on. I had something to do on that one as well. Okay, we've got Gary. Whoa, you're low. Power. Power. Gary's giving us something to talk about, boys.
That's
Hey,
where their fuel stayed in there.
your fuel state. Well, bucket loads of fuel. Okay. You're low. Power. You're lined up left. Right for line up. You're high. Okay. Line up. I said the wrong way round, didn't I? Sorry. Good recovery. Good landing in the end there, well done. I actually told you to go the wrong way, I think, but that's super gap.
It's the opposite of what you're looking at.
Yeah. Okay, I'll see you take this one. Pressure so it's been too much for Cap.
Just remember, I only got shut down and my wife and kids haven't seen them.
It's true. It's true. Oh, what's happened? He's gone funny. I'll see. Correct him.
You're lined up right.
Easy with your wings.
You're too low,
Going to get to line up
too
left.
high. Lined up left, right.
Tension music.
You're lined up left. You're high. You're lined up left.
So what you want to do at a half mile now, I'll see, is line up right. Right for line up, sorry. Right for line up.
3/4 of a mile.
Oh, sorry. I didn't know distance.
Lined up right. You're high. Wave off, wave off.
It's going around. Good call. That man had madness in his eyes, RC. I saw it. I haven't seen his kids for 3 months. Okay, RC, go.
You're high. You're lined up left. Lined up left.
Can you do the break? Easy with the wings. You got it. Look at the big brain on Gary. Okay, that was touch and goes. I think we'll come down for proper landings now. Put the theory into practice. Okay, you're lined up left. You're lined up left. You're low. Power. You're lined up left. Easy with your nose. I just put that one in. He didn't really need to. You're lined up left. What's your distance, please?
1 mile.
Oh, we've got ages to go. I'm being called the bull yet. This guy's a frigging machine. No comment needed. Actually, you're 1 pixel out. Rewind. So am I right in saying there are guys, these comms wouldn't actually start until 3/4 mile?
Correct.
Unless it was a request for the Clara request, yeah.
Yeah, so this usually wouldn't start till 3/4 miles, but we're just doing it further out because we need to practice. Gary needs to help. He's Australian. He's got a little brain. Right, you're lined up left. You're lined up later politics. You're lined up far left. Cap's terrible at this job.
He's still coming around base.
Oh, is he? No, he's
I
not.
know, I guess.
He's not. You're lined up well left. Couldn't go.
Oh, great. What's left?
Left is.
You're right.
Uh,
I'm all right.
no. I told you, it's bloody Australian. It's been drinking. You're high. You're high, Cougar.
What? Drinking or high? What?
No, you're high. You're high. You need to reduce your velocity ever so slightly. You're also lined up left, which means you're going to have to turn your aeroplane right, just like you steer your Buick in Australia, or Holden, as you call it.
Oh, now you're talking about like.
There it is. So you got it. TLC, you've got to get a rapport if you're going to be a
Rapport.
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 You're high.
You lost me again.
The French version.
Okay, it's been half a mile now. I say easy with it. I say right for lineup. Easy with the wings. Easy with the wings. Easy with the nose. Easy with the nose. Easy with it. Easy with it. Right for lineup. No, easy with the pitch. Easy with the pitch.
You're high.
You're high. Yeah. Jesus, these Australians are crazy. Why did we give them F-18s? Oh, look at this guy.
He's flying.
Don't float it.
So that's
Woo!
High. Your low power.
He's got it. Look at that, Kingston. Well done. I'm very proud of you. Well done. And that's it. So I think we need to go and do some LSO practice, but we'll show you the instruments and how you can do it.
Nice landing gear.
Yeah, it's a lovely landing of you. I hope you enjoyed that. See you later.
And this particular one, we were going out and doing a low level as a four ship, but we were splitting off as two individual aircraft. And I was actually flying with, you may remember Flash from the Lightning Strike video. He was my flight lead, and I was Dash 2. So this is the first time I went out to fly a low level in the Hornet, which was a little different than the F-16. In the Air Force, the rules were 500 feet, but in the Navy, if you have a special qualification, but if you were the instructor or flight lead, you can go down to 250 feet as long as you weren't going lower than him. So this was the first time flying down 250 feet in a fighter, and it was an experience. So taxied out, joined up. This is just doing a flight control check. And for Dash 4, so we're taking off at the cross runway. So actually, I'm holding at number 4. The first 3 line up on the runway, and then once Dash 3 with my flight lead took off, I took the runway and did a roll and takeoff behind it. We kind of held for a second, let the other 2 go ahead, and then we entered the low-level route in the Fallon. We had the points plotted out. I think I had to hand type them in, all the different waypoints for the route. But on my right leg, I've got the low-level map as well. Gives us an idea of where we're going. But same thing I learned. I mean, so I had no formal training in flying low level in the Navy since it's my first time. It's my flight lead crossing now. That's my nose there is learn yet. Just went back to my Air Force training. Near rocks, far rocks, check lead, check six. So, look out at the closest rock to you to make sure you don't hit that. Then look farther out at the far rocks and then check your lead. Make sure you know where he is because you're flying formation on it. And you're flying like a wedge. It's a 30 to 70 degree cone, anywhere from a mile to a mile and a half. And you can see I'm trying to maintain position in that wedge formation. And we just go down, tactical and slowly step down. I kind of held high a little bit, just get comfortable with it. We're going pretty fast. And, the difference between 500 feet to 250 feet might not seem like much, but it's actually quite significant, because now you're starting to see detail on trees and stuff like that as we speed up. And Flash was a very experienced former Marine, so he'd done a lot of low-level stuff as a forward air controller. So he was very aggressive in doing the ridge crossing and stuff, which you just saw. That instead of punting, instead of pushing negative G, you roll to get the positive G on the aircraft, so you're not pushing over every time you cross a ridge. You see here, it's just a constant cross-check, looking out front. Okay, I'm not going to hit the rock. Okay, where's dash one? And we don't have data link, we don't have mids or anything like that in these aircraft. So it's all staying visual, don't go blind. Use the air-to-air attack aim for anything. But other than that, it's just, look forward, look left, look forward, look left. Don't hit the rocks. As we funnel into some of these valleys, I've changed my formation position just kind of based where we are. I get a little bit closer as we go into these valleys, a little bit easier to keep sight, a little bit easier to fly off of them, and then with more open terrain, I would widen out the formation. And obviously, vary the direction of the turn based on where the next turn in the low level is. It's not a straight low level. It's a defined route that we're flying. So, you may go left down one peak and then right down the other peak, and then as you get flatlands, you can go all the way down to that 250, 300 feet. But at that altitude, now you can kind of start to make out the shrubs and stuff. You can make out start to make out leaves on trees, but it helps having the head-up display, because that's got velocity vector flight path marker that shows you where the aircraft's going to go, and as long as you keep that above the terrain in front of you, you're going to clear it. But we're using the radar altimeter to tell us how high we are above the ground level. Unfortunately, I didn't have the ability to record the comms at this time, but there's really not much comm happening between my flight lead and myself during all this time. I mean, he may call out a turn, he may do a fuel check or something like that, but it's really radio silence. It's just focusing on, flying a good formation and maintaining the right altitude, clearance of the terrain. And here with, a little less terrain, a little time to kind of take a deep breath and kind of catch your breath after maneuvering like that, because you're pulling, several Gs. It's a workout. It's a good time to, study the map a little bit more, get ahead of the aircraft, make sure you know what's coming up. You can see it's also pretty bumpy. The wind coming off the side of these, if you call them mountains, but off the terrain, it creates, you've got thermals, mountain wave turbulence, stuff like that. So, I mean, it's kind of a bumpy ride. The seatbelt light would definitely be on in the airliner. The hardest part on the daylight today, having that gray kind of overcast and flying, gray camo jets is just maintaining the visual. If you get too far, too stripped out, anything like that, it's really easy to lose these aircraft, in that backdrop and that look up. So it's important, a couple times, you lose them for a second, but generally speaking, you maintain visual the whole time. And if not, that's when you make a blind call, let them know your altitude, make sure you get deconfliction from there, and rejoin as appropriate, or maybe abort the route if it's too bad, or fly it individually or something. Take some kind of spacing so you don't run into each other.